So I've been a superstar, and I got paid for what I knew, and I shared the game with them. So much guidance. That's what I did. They paid for knowledge.
Salutations, family, and welcome back to Ride Along with the Storm. Family, I was thinking about some things earlier today when I came across an epiphany, and I was researching some things, and I realized that in the scientific community, it is a known fact that every 7 years, the human body fully regenerates itself. The human body is constantly going through the process of the cells in the human bodies dying and new cells being regenerated to take their place. So it said in science, it says that on average, it takes 7 years for all of the cells in your body to die and to be regenerated. And with that being said, family, that really resonated with me, because I know some people don't really get into the esoteric aspect of religion. They like to keep, just the standard view of religion. But when you take science and you combine a religion, a lot of times you understand the arcane and the esoteric parts of spirituality, then you understand that if your body and every cell in your body rejuvenates every 7 years, then that means if you've lived to be 35 years old, you've gone through 5 reincarnations physically, family. And a lot of people don't look at it this way, and they don't express it this way. But if your body has gone through 5 reincarnations and you've been rejuvenated physically, then you have to understand that your body has incredible recuperation ability, and not only recuperation abilities, but healing factors. But what you have to understand, family, those healing factors and those abilities to recuperate, those abilities come from somewhere. Those abilities are manifest and made manifest from somewhere. And when your cells rejuvenate, they rejuvenate on a certain frequency. And that's why we have to be careful, family, of exposing ourselves to toxicity, whether it be toxic relationships, toxic family environments, toxic work environments. We have to be very careful of the type of environments we expose ourselves to, because when our cells rejuvenate under what resonates in our lives in a day-to-day process. And a lot of people don't think of it on this level. But that's why a lot of times, even in science, they have a process called being psychosomatic. Psychosomatic is where an individual can be sick. You can give them a placebo or a fake medicine, but because in their subconscious belief, they believe that the medicine is helping them, their subconscious mind actually repairs their body. And that is the same situation that you have to understand, and what you have to understand that resonates in your day-to-day activity, in your physical and your mental well-being. When you understand that your body's in a constant state of renewal or metamorphosis or replication or repair, you have to understand it's important to avoid toxicity, because when that toxicity permeates you both mentally and spiritually, then your body actually grows to be sick under the toxicity that it's being exposed to. A lot of people don't go into the more esoteric facets of religion and the human body and how our bodies are vessels for our spirit. But this is real fact, family. When you go study science, your body's rejuvenating every 7 years on a cellular level. That cellular level is manifest by your subconscious thoughts and your words, family. So you have to be careful of the type of environment that you put yourself in, the type of people you surround yourself by, and the type of interactions that you have with people, because that will manifest in your your spiritual and physical well-being. Look at it, family, and you talking about rejuvenation, and you talking about reincarnation, and you talking about resurrection on a certain level. This is being made manifest on a daily basis. That's why right now in science, they're starting to recognize different psychoses that develop from people being in toxic environments over a prolonged period of time. You have people that are suffering from PTSD. That's been a new phenomenon that's been discussed here lately with the descendants of slaves, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome, which they say manifests in people of color who've been subjugated and exposed to the myriad toxic environments of them being in bondage. We have that's been introduced scientifically here over the last 15 to 20 years, so it's relatively new in the scientific community. But and then one thing that I just came across recently, family, in my research is a whole is the idea of poverty-induced stress syndrome, where people of a lower social economic status actually are in so much more of a toxic environment because they are being relegated to day-to-day survival, that these people actually exhibit more health issues than people of a higher status or class in society. And when you understand all this, family, you understand how the human body works and how the human body is the vessel or encapsulates you spiritually. You have to be spiritually aware of what you're doing to your body, family. You have to be able to remove yourself from toxic environments. You have to be able to remove yourself from toxic family members. You have to be able to remove yourself from toxic work environments, family. And a lot of times, when it all boils down to it, family, complacency is a curse. Sometimes we grow so used to being in toxic environments, whether it be relationships, whether it be work environments, whether it be just negative interactions with people in society right now. We have to remove ourselves from these different negative factors in our environment, family, because they do have a negative consequence on our health and also our spiritual well-being. But that's going to be all for me on this episode of Ride Along with the Storm, family. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm going to catch y'all next time. Peace.